Folks, huge weekend for director Ryan Coogler, actor Michael B. Jordan, and the whole cast of the movie Sinners. Folks, man, they set a record for an original movie, the highest grossing original movie since 2019. They took in $48 million at the domestic box office, again, setting the new mark for the best box office launch for the original film since the pandemic. It has gotten a huge response on Rotten Tomatoes. Go to my iPad. On Rotten Tomatoes, they earn a 98% critics and a 97% audience score, the highest score for a studio-wide release since Universal DreamWorks' The Wild Robot. They earned an A on CinemaScore, marking the first time in 39 years that a horror film has earned a grade that high from the audience. That is absolutely huge, and they expect to do big business the next several days. Actor Omar Miller is in the movie. He joins us right now. Omar, glad to have you here. Man, y'all all got to feel pretty doggone good.
Come on. These sinners got blessed this weekend. It worked out.
The thing that's also amazing is very interesting here. I've been seeing all these folk talk about this deal that Ryan Coogler cut where he gets ownership of the film in 25 years. And boy, it's some folks, they hot and bothered. Well,
Ooh, they got them upset.
Yeah, but here's the deal, though. If the movie tanked, they wouldn't be saying nothing. See, the reality is...
And we've seen quite a few headlines that kind of intimated that they wanted the film to tank.
Yeah, absolutely. And an audience has turned out in record numbers. And what's great about this wasn't a cape. It wasn't a superhero. It was an original idea. And I think that's what the public has been craving, something new, fresh, original, and not a sequel or a prequel or the 10th or the 11th of the same tired concept.
Well, you know, and I think you've been a trailblazer in this with your company and with your show. I'm a longtime viewer and listener. I want to tell you, I appreciate the love that you always gave Jasmine and I on Ballers, because you were always a vocal supporter, and I appreciate that. And in kind, I try to return the support on your network. And I think that the big thing that we're seeing is it's on us. It's on us as business people, as entrepreneurs, as the electorate. Top to bottom, it's on us, and we have to do what we can to reward the people who actually give us what we want and what we need. Ryan got rewarded by the audience because he delivered a picture which was original, entertaining, educational, nostalgic, and it's something that just lands on you and sticks with you because he accurately portrayed a dynamic portrayal of us as people.
What's also just great about it, I mean, it was just sort of like just a wave that was just moving. I mean, over the weekend, I saw folk who were saying, I went in the theater, had no idea what the hell I was watching, and then they were raving about it, and folk were live posting while they were in the middle of the movie, and you actually just begin to see this thing build. There were people who were saying, oh, okay, but on Thursday, Friday, oh, yeah, this might do, 30, 35 million. All of a sudden, it was like boom, 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 boom. That number just kept going higher and higher.
No matter what you pay for advertising-wise, word of mouth is still the most powerful form of advertisement and endorsement that you can get. And when people started to see this film and it got unleashed on the public and it really sticks with you, I can't explain it if you haven't seen it yet. There's a mesmerizing effect. Now, as a person in the film, I'm somebody that watches with a professional eye. I actually can watch this film as a fan. And I, too, got mesmerized by the music. I, too, got mesmerized by the visuals. And even if you look at the clip where Ryan did the piece where he's explaining the different ways to see the film, and that went viral. It's because this man has so much passion for what he does, and he had such a clear vision, him and his wife, for what they were doing. It translated onto the celluloid, and then it hits you. It really hits you and goes to show you the power of art and the power of film.
Folks, y'all got the trailer. If you got it, go ahead and play it.
The summertime has come, and the trees are sweetly blooming. The wild mountain thyme
I will build my love about by young cool and crystal fountain. On it I will all the flowers of the mountain. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to the wild mountain time, all around the green. Will you go, lassie, go? Will you go, lassie, go?
I haven't seen that trailer.
That's a new one. It was an original one they released. That was the one they released last week that spoke to it. And a lot of folks, man, are talking about the powerful performance of Delroy Lindo.
Oh, I've watched Delroy my entire career, and before I became an actor, I paid money to go see Delroy Lindo in films, like when I was a child and saw Malcolm X in the theater. You know, it's so great to work with somebody of his stature and of his talent level, and to see how he prepares and how he gets busy. His portrayal in this film of Delta Slim, a real bad blues man, is representative of so much. And I think that people are identifying it because he reminds you of somebody that you know in your family. And his portrayal is just so authentic. He's just so honest on screen. He deserves all the flowers.
Questions from my panel. Let's see. Has anyone on the panel seen the movie? Did y'all see the movie this weekend?
Yep.
Okay. Well, Omekongo, you get to go first then.
Yeah, I was one of those people who didn't know what to expect. And so halfway through, when I started seeing red eyes, I'm like, oh, my goodness. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. And my question for you, Omar, is this. When I saw Black Panther in 2018, I came out with, like a lot of Black people, with our chest stuck out, because we were just so proud Trump being in office. It was something that we needed in the moment. Even though this movie is different, are you getting the same types of vibes, particularly from Black people who are seeing this movie with all of the anti-DEI stuff going on, that this is the movie we need in this moment?
First of all, thanks for coming out on the weekend, because the opening weekend means so much in Hollywood and for the commerce of films. Secondly, absolutely. I actually had a deep conversation earlier with a friend of mine where we were speaking about how when Panther came out, it was the right movie for that time. And part of the brilliance of what Coogler's able to do is Sinners is the right film for us as a culture at this time. And I don't think it's just the right film for us as Black folks. It's especially the right picture for us as Black folks. But it's the right picture for Americans. Because this film speaks about the promise of America and the broken promises of America and the promise of freedom. And, here we're not dealing with any kind of Black trauma porn film. This is a film you come out of and you feel further resilience, and you recognize that you have to examine where we are in society and where you personally are on your journey, morally, ethically, and what are you willing to do for your freedom?
Thank you.
Renita?
Yes, thank you for being with us, Omar. This is such a treat. I cannot wait to see Sinners. In fact, I'm going to have to see it a couple times in the theater. My question is this. People are saying that Ryan Coogler, they believe he has created a new genre of film, in creating this movie. My impression of this from everything I've read about Sinners is that maybe people are saying that because this is definitely a fantasy film because it's got vampires involved, but at the same time, it's going deep into racial reckoning, it's going deep into showing the reality of living in the Jim Crow South around the 30s. And so do you think that that's why people are saying that? Because you don't usually see something that's both fantasy, but also showing having like these deep kind of racial conversations at the same time and showing the reality of a period of time in history? Or do you think they're saying something else?
It's hard to explain this film without seeing this film, which has made it difficult to market, which is why I think Ryan once again showed his genius with his marketing plan. But I think that what's happening is the genre conversation, he's done something that is so intimate and so personal to him that specificity is landing and creating universality amongst the audience. Because the film covers a take on capitalism. It examines our social situations. It examines our spiritual place. It examines a lot, and you can't help but to have that land on you if you experience and watch the film. And so with that, I think some of it has to do with the fantasy part. The problem with saying that he created a new genre, it implies the idea that somebody else could then recreate it. I don't think anybody else can make this movie. And I think that if you try to make a movie like this, you have a very, very high bar to meet.
Julian.
Well, first of all, thank you for being with us. I appreciate it. Let me say, I was very apprehensive. I have not seen the film. Now, after listening to you and seeing that new trailer, I will go see it. I don't like horror movies. They freak me out. I have nightmares about them. What I've heard this described as horror and fantasy, and I don't like vampires either, for any number of reasons. But I'm convinced. But
Child, you love Jesus. Just go on to the doggone movie. All that damn.
Let me tell you something. I'm a card-carrying Christian, okay? I'm a card-carrying Christian. Yesterday, I celebrated Resurrection Day with a prime rib with my mama, who was a Sunday school teacher for 30 years. I'm here to tell you that the film is appropriately titled Sinners. It is not, I wouldn't describe it as a horror film. There's elements of horror in it. There's vampires in it, but it is not a vampire film. And the reason this film is resonating with so many people is because it doesn't sit in one category or one genre. I suggest you give it a chance because the conversation starter that this film is, you won't be able to get away from.
In fact, Delroy Lindo said that. He said that this is not a horror film. Julian, go ahead.
well, the question, do I need to bring some people with me because I'm a freak out in there?
Yeah, fine. Bring your chaperone. Julian, your ass, what? How old are you, Julian?
71?
You 71. Why in the hell you need to bring somebody with you to the damn...
You may want to bring some people with you, but only because you're going to have to talk to somebody about the film once you see the film. I've never been in a picture that makes people want to speak about it and rewatch it the way that this one is. And I've been doing this for a good amount of time.
Okay, I'm going to take your word for it, brother.
I promise. I'll give you a refund if you don't like it.
All right.
Lord have mercy. She just sitting here. Oh goodness. And so I know she don't even know. So I know some folks laugh because so Omar, I have a very strict rule. See, a lot of these movie companies and these streaming services and networks, they never like to spend money with black-owned media. So that's why I don't typically have folk on. So you're on.
I understand that. So thank you.
I mean, and so you're on because your publicist reached out. I was like, absolutely, you're right. I love you and the sister who's on Ballers. I love y'all.
Jasmine.
Jasmine, y'all should have had a spinoff because the two of y'all were just hilarious. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna have them on. But that's always my thing there. So let Warner Brothers know that you got on because of you.
We count on that, and I'm going to publicize it because of you. And because let me tell you, I appreciate the black-owned business element. I grew up; my parents are entrepreneurs. I know how hard the hustle is, and I know that we have to support if we're ever going to get out of this rat race that we're in, where they thinks that they can sidestep us and our businesses.
Absolutely. And so we do have a scene with you in the movie. Roll it.
What y'all doing? Just step aside and let me on in now.
Why you need him to do that? You big and strong enough to push past us?
Well, that wouldn't be too polite now, would it, Miss Annie? I don't know why I'm talking to you anyway. Smoke.
Don't talk to him. You talking to me right now. Why you can't just walk your big ass up in here without an invite, huh? Go ahead. Admit to it.
Admit to what?
That you dead.
So you listening to this? Now we out here playing games, telling ghost stories in place of doing what we ought to do.
And what is it we supposed to be doing?
Being kind to one another. being polite. Now, we is one people, and we shouldn't go in barging into other folks' places uninvited, so. You've been in and out of here all day. Ain't never need an invite in. Yeah, something ain't adding up. Can I at least get my money?
Careful.
See, that's the money he gonna get. Julian, why you jumping?
I didn't expect that. That's why.
Julian, your ass literally jumping on Skype right now.
I'm sorry.
You should definitely bring a chaperone, Julianne. Miss Julianne, you need to bring a chaperone.
Yeah, she gonna have to bring somebody. Matter of fact, and you need the money back. That's the money he gonna give you that he took from
promise.
That's what he gonna give you the money. Lord have mercy. She is jumpy. She is jumpy right here on Skype. Oh Lord. My goodness. Well, it has done gangbusters, and I love these people who are sitting here having the audacity to say, well, you know, it ain't gonna do well overseas. I just want the haters, Omar, to keep hating, and I want them to have to sit here and have to accept how good the movie is doing. And again, they've been saying for years, oh, black movies can't do well. Well, we know what happened with Django, how well it did internationally. And I just really hope all these folk who have been running their mouths just get embarrassed every day as the numbers come in. That's what I hope.
Well, it's a lot of crow on the menu, and there's going to be a lot of people that got to eat it, because I'm here to tell you this film is going to perform. Once you speak to somebody who speaks so passionately after they've seen it, you'll be like Miss Julianne and go see it. And this thing stays with you. And so right now, we're number one in several countries around the world, not just the United States, not just North America. We're number one in France. We're number one in the UK. We're number one all over the place. And it's because the brilliance of Coogler and Ryan's relation and Mike's relationship is that these are human stories.
Right.
They're specifically wrapped up in the blackness. But as we know, we create culture for the whole world to consume. And what we do and determine as cool then in turn translates to every language, to every society. And these stories are going to do just that. And you'll see the numbers are going to keep piling up.
Folks, this is from Box Office Mojo. I'm always going to their side. You see right here, the domestic gross was $48 million. International was $15.5 million. And so Sinners did $63.5 million. Its opening weekend, $91 million budget. And Variety had this story, which I thought was just laughable. Oh, will they be able to make the money back? I'm like, first of all, it was so stupid. No movie, I don't care what the movie is, makes its budget back the first weekend.
Especially no original film.
No superhero movie makes, the movie costs $200 million and the marketing budget is going to be $150 million. That's $350 million. They don't make that opening weekend. That story was a joke. I think it was in actually the New York Times or Variety, one of them. But it was just.
I think it was Variety, which is unfortunate because that's an industry, trade magazine. The other piece that is fortunate about that, though, and I think this is the lesson to be had. One of the most vocal voices saying this is a ridiculous headline is Ben Stiller, who is a Hollywood heavyweight who has plenty of box office behind him. And he pointed out that no other film would ever warrant this headline. And he lets you read between the lines on the why. Patrick Schwarzenegger came out speaking about how ridiculous it is. Joe Russo, who I worked with actually before, of the Russo brothers Avengers fame and Marvel fame, came out and blasted it. It's all right. The haters are going to hate. But truth be told, you can't stop this because, as you see on social media, this film is a movement. Sinners is out. Good luck if you can get a ticket, because this thing is going to run.
All right. Omar Miller, I appreciate it, my brother. Thank you so very much.
Roland, keep doing what you're doing. Thank you to the panel. Thank you for having me. And, hey, man, Godspeed.
Appreciate it, my brother. Thanks a lot. Folks, I'm looking for the tweet that they posted, and it really was laughable, Omar Congo, that Variety posted this. I wonder if it's even still up. I purposely took a screenshot last night thinking that they may delete it because they caught so much flack over the post. So first of all, you see here, 8 hours ago, they have this here, 5 reasons why Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan Sinners ruled the box office, but that's not the one everybody is talking about. I'm looking for, I have the screenshot, guys, I have the screenshot, but I'm purposely looking to see if their tweet is still up. The thing that was just, what was crazy to me is when you see these stories. And in fact, not just them, the New York, I'm gonna pull up the New York Times. Same thing. Their headline was just dumb. How they wrote about Quentin Tarantino's movie, and then this movie here, similar budget, being original. It was just dumb. But see, this is the dumb stuff that we see constantly with this. And let's see. Here it is. This is the tweet. This is why people are criticizing them. Sinners has amassed $61 million in its global debut. It's a great result for an original R-rated horror film, yet the Warner Brothers release has a $90 million price tag before global marketing expenses, so profitability remains a ways away. That is just stupid, Omar Congo, just stupid.
Yeah, their inability to read the room as it relates to this movie and that low-key hate. I'm glad Ben Stiller and other people have called this out. The fact of the matter is, it's a powerful movie. It's an original movie, and you, like you said, it crushed it over the weekend. At one point in the weekend, it surpassed Minecraft, and I think it surpassed Minecraft for the entire weekend, right? So really, at the end of the day, why can't they just celebrate the greatness of this movie? Like you said, the fact that it's not a comic book movie sequel, the fact that it's not based off of a video game. This is, two brothers in Coogler and Jordan doing their thing, and after one weekend to say something like that, to try to throw some salt on what they're doing right now, it's absolutely ridiculous, particularly in a time where I saw Minecraft, no black males in that cast. You got movies like Fantastic Four that's coming up, no black males, Marvel's Thunderbolts, both Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts, I don't think have any black male or female leads. And so this was a powerful movie, but like Miller said, this was a movie for everybody. And so why don't you just let it give it its run like we do with every other movie, like you do in Variety with every other movie, and stop throwing hate on this. But like Miller said, this is one of those movies that has broken through, and it has broken through quickly, and it's becoming a movement to go and be in this space. So they, like he said, they're going to be in Crow really soon.
I love it when the haters, who is this fool? Somebody named Tom Snyder, some conservative. I love this here. This is going to give y'all more reason to go watch it. Sinners is a racist, ultra-violent, woke pagan horror that spreads lies and falsehoods about American music and about white people. We refute the movie's woke lies here. We really don't care, Julian. We don't care, Tom Snyder, who goes by at Film Doctor. Suck it.
Wow.
I mean, that's such a ridiculous level of vitriol for a movie. They market racist movies every day. This is not one of them. I didn't see it, but it doesn't sound like one to me. It sounds like a re-examination of history. And frankly, when the brother said examination of capitalism, I'm like, okay, I'm there. I'm gonna have to take a couple people with me because I am jumpy, but I will try to go see it tomorrow. Actually.
Yeah, there you go. Rita.
Yeah, as it relates to the both the Variety comment about, well, it's a ways away from profitability, and also the other comment you just read, I think that what is at the root of all this is these are the type of folks who want it to be the case that America does not need diversity. So what they're mad at is not so much about the movie, but they're mad about how successful the movie is doing in a time when they're trying to run these anti-DEI agendas that basically the root of it says all we need is whiteness to be successful in the country, and the country can survive and thrive off of that. And it's just not true. With diversity, companies make more money, products do better. And it is because that reflects the entire culture, and it reflects the melting pot that America is. And so they want it to be the case that anything that involves any type of diversity is going to fail. And that's why they're so mad about this movie. But I'm going to tell you this. like you said before, it's completely ridiculous that they think that this movie is not going to make its budget, because I love vampire movies. I saw a preview for Sinners a couple months ago and was like, I couldn't wait to see it. And I didn't even know it was a movie that had anything to do with vampires, even at that point. But once people started to see it last week, and I found out it had something to do with vampires, it made me want to see it even more. The thing is that there were a lot of folks like myself who could not get there the first week because it was so packed. So what I'm saying is there are a lot of people waiting to spend their money to help this film recoup its costs, and it will do well, and it will recoup its budget plus more, because there are so many folks like myself who are just waiting for an opportunity to be able to get into the theater. I have a friend who works at the movie theater, and he has said that it looks to him that people are literally taking off of work to go see this movie, because the theaters are full Saturday morning at 10 a.m., Monday morning at 10 a.m. The theater is full at times where people would actually be at work. The theater that he works at, they've canceled showing the other movies, and now all of the rooms are showing Sinners. So people are breaking their necks to see this movie. So the only reason that this movie has not already recouped its budget is because literally theaters don't have enough space to hold everybody at one time who wants to see this movie.
So just so y'all understand framing, this is the New York Times when Quentin Tarantino's movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood released. You see right here. This is the headline. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a box office hit for Tarantino. Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt helped the director score one of the biggest opening weekends of his career. That's how they framed that. Now, mind you, that movie made $40.4 million opening weekend. Similar budget to Sinners. This is their New York Times framing of Sinners. Sinners is a box office success with a big asterisk. Ryan Coogler's original horror film was expected to sell a strong $46 million in tickets over the weekend, enough for number one, but its profitability remains a long way off.
Wow.
Y'all just saw right there.
Wow.
2 different headlines in the New York Times about movies, similar budget, similar proceeds.
Wow. Wow. I'm so glad you brought that up. I had no idea. And they're talking about it's a long way off. Like, when do we start forecasting what a movie's going to ultimately make after one weekend or two?
Typically, the only time they do that is when a movie tanks and they say, this movie's not. Normally when a movie tanks, let's say a movie was expected to do 50 million opening weekend and it does 35. They know what happens in successive weeks. That is, your numbers drop. Now, typically, and again, for folks who, because I go to Box Office Mojo all the time. And so when you look at movies, so like last weekend, they had, you see, the perfect example, let me go right here, a Minecraft movie. So, a Minecraft movie. So, here we go right here. All right, so what you'll see is, when you look at these numbers here, you see the drop-off, okay, how a movie performs. So Minecraft, you see when it opened April 11th, you see the numbers, but then you see a drop. So there's a natural tendency, and also look at the theaters. It opened in 4,263 theaters. Then April 20th, it was in 4,032. So typically that movie has been out now for 3 weeks. So you'll see that kind of drop. So you'll see a drop in numbers because it's not the opening weekend. So they measure movies by, do you see a 20% drop, 25% drop, 30% drop? Some movies go from the opening weekend to the second weekend having a 60, 70% drop off. Those things happen. But the reality is, this type of, I would not be shocked if come next Monday, Sinners drop off might be 20%, because it's going to have stronger word of mouth between today and this weekend.
Absolutely. I can't wait. I'll probably go see it again during that time. So we'll see how that goes. But this is a fact. What's beautiful about it is that people are showing that we can be out there, we can be original. We don't need to be all up in their spaces. And this is kind of like the reverse effect of what we talked about with Target in the last segment. We can get out there and support those who support us and want to see them do great. And Variety and New York Times and all of these other guys out there who are hating, and that guy with the one video, whatever that was on Twitter that you showed, who breaks down the film, they should all be ashamed of themselves. But like you said, Miller said, it doesn't matter. We're going to keep on going with it.
Absolutely nonsensical. All right, folks, I appreciate it. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.